Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's on First, the show. And today I bring you Ivory. Ivory is a former student of the Wendelstedt School. And introduce yourself, Ivory.
Yeah, hey guys, how you doing? My name is Ivory Upchurch. Recently went to Harry Wendelstedt School of 2024 this past January. I got placed in the Pecos Professional Independent League and just got back from my first season and had a great time.
All right. So how was it in the beginning? How did this whole process start? You went to Wendelstedt's, and then what happened from there?
Yeah, so I'll even give you more of a beginning than that.
Oh,
I haven't been umpiring long at all. I umpired the fall season right before going to Wendelstedt in January, and it was mainly just local little league games. I grew up playing baseball, love of the game, and thought, I let me go to Wendelstedt and give it my all and see what happens, and was fortunate to get something um and yeah, so I got to Wendelstedt and it was much more than I expected it to be. Starting from the very beginning of the rule book, rule 1.00, 1.01 about baseball being, a game between two teams with nine players managed by a manager, and then all the way until the end of the rule book, and applying that stuff on field as well. So it was just a great experience, and had a great season, and luckily was paired up with someone who went to Wendelstedt with me as well. So already built that friendship with him at Wendelstedt and grew upon that, and we were able to feed off of each other with the knowledge that we learned at Wendelstedt. So it was a great experience overall this past half a year, slightly over half a year of umpiring in my life.
okay. So now going into the Pecos League, do you think you were very well prepared coming out of Wendelstedt?
Oh yeah. So having almost no experience under my belt, and the way that Wendelstedt had prepared me going into the season, you get a little nervous. It's a different play style than what I'm used to here at home. I'd done a little bit of high school, and that was about as fast paced as it was. So the nerves were there a little bit, but in terms of going out there with the confidence and the rule book knowledge, and applying everything that Wendelstedt had taught me, I picked up very, very quickly with the pace of play, and felt like it was natural being there. So yeah, it was really no problem at all.
So the pressure that they put on you in school, kid, it's the same kind of pressure that they put on you in these fields, right?
Yeah, yeah, because they really try to drill it into you when you're at Wendelstedt. And if you don't get it, they're gonna make you get it at some point. So luckily, I think I got everything they were trying to teach me at Wendelstedt, and yeah, applied all of the knowledge I had into this past season, and I'd say I fared pretty well.
Okay. All right. So now you got into the Pecos League. Tell me some of the things that happened in these leagues. Was there any
Yeah,
kind of any
yeah.
what was
So
your what is one of your greatest moments? What is one of the things you go, wow, I did that, or this happened?
yeah, okay. Um, so it was pretty cool going to. So I went across a few different states. I was in Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, and Kansas.
Okay, which one
So
was your favorite? Which one was your favorite one?
so there's two cities in New Mexico, one of which is in Santa Fe. That
Okay.
I gotta say that city's pretty cool. Nice environment. The weather is nice compared to Pecos and Roswell. Very hot in those two locations. Um, so two two instances towards the later part of the season that really shine when you ask me that question is we had a one out time play. So runners on first and third with one out. And there's a deep fly ball to right field, and the runner on third gets ready to tag up. The runner on first thinks, "Oh, that ball is getting down," so he starts to run. So the ball is caught for the second out, and the runner on first realizes, "Oh, that was caught. I have to go back." And so I'm play umpire. And so I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a time play here. So I align myself first baseline extended, like Wendelstedt had taught me. And I'm looking for the touch of home from that runner of third tagging up after I see, okay, he did tag up properly. So I look for the touch of home while I'm looking for the out at first base. So the out did beat him at first base 2 to 3 steps before the runner from third had crossed home. So I turn up towards the box and signal no run, no run. And I felt pretty good in that moment. I gotta say. I was like, yes, you know, my training has come to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good moment. And for all the players listening, just make sure whenever there's a time play, just hustle. There was a recent moment in Major League Baseball with the Yankees where I forget who it was that was thrown out at home, but instead of running through it, he slowed down to watch the play, and he did not score on the time play. So I would just hustle through it. There was another one that had to do with appeals. That was pretty interesting. The runner had slid into home and got near the edge of the plate, but didn't touch it. And I'm the base umpire, and so I'm thinking like, okay, it didn't look like he touched it. Just be ready for the appeal. He goes to the dugout, and then my plate partner comes up and calls time, dusts the plate off, and the defense appeals that he didn't touch home. So they throw it home, and the plate umpire tells them you can only appeal when the ball is in play. So then the ball is thrown back to the pitcher. The runner comes out of the dugout, steps on the plate, then goes back into the dugout. Now the ball is put back into play. The defense appeals, and he's still called out. So my partner got with me after the manager has argued and was just making sure, like, hey, you saw the same thing as me. Runner went into the dugout. He's no longer a runner at that point.
Abandoned
He
effort.
cannot come back out and step on the plate. I was like, I saw the same exact thing as you. He is still out.
Yep.
And so it was great working with a partner as well. I'll say that had went to Wendelstedt. He's had 5 to 6 years of experience under his belt. High school, a lot of college, even, and so he was great to work with, and a lot of experience as well. So there's 2 plays that we had that if it wasn't for Wendelstedt, who knows what would have
Who knows
happened.
what would have happened, right? All right.
Yeah.
So give me one of those moments that you go, oh man, did you boot a call? Did your partner boot a call?
One thing I could have done.
Better.
Yeah, we had so when it comes to box. Well, let's start with the 2 pitching positions. You have the wind up and you have the set position, and then you have something called the hybrid position, which is
Okay.
where the pitcher will engage the rubber parallel as if he's pitching from the set, but he's pitching as if he were pitching from the windup. And so he needs to tell the umpire, hey, I'm going from the windup. That way there's no confusion. Oh, is he going from the windup? Is he going from the set? So we had one of those with it was bases loaded, full count with 2 outs. And so that was kind of a tough one because it was a full count, and so he went from the hybrid position and struck the guy out. And so they go to their dugout side, and me and my partner get together, and like, hey, he was going from the hybrid. Did he tell you he was pitching from the windup? And I was like, no. Did he tell you? And so that kind of caused chaos because then we had to bring them back out onto the field. Um, and so I think recognizing that earlier in the count, um, rather than last batter with two strikes to put him away, and then they go to their dugout, and now we're bringing it up. Um, so just kind of taking control in the moment, like, okay, he just run from the hybrid, didn't tell us to come up, call time in that moment, and get with the partner initially. Um, so I think that just goes to show that there's so many little things going on at once that you have to look for, that even something as simple as that. First of all, you have to recognize, okay, this guy's parallel with the rubber, but he's still pitching from the windup, which is the hybrid, and he has to tell one of us in that moment to just be like, okay, he didn't tell me. Let me come up and call time and discuss it with my partner. Okay, he didn't tell my partner. We have a balk right here in this moment. Um, yeah, to kind of avert some of the chaos that could potentially happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think just having your head in the game at all times, and really having a good rule book knowledge is key, because if you don't, you're not going to know something like that.
Right.
And then if the opposing team brings that up to you, and you don't know that rule, that's where chaos ensues.
Right.
So
Right.
um yeah, that was just it was kind of one of those smaller things. And um but everybody makes mistakes, and the umpires are human as well, and so you learn from those things. That way you can better yourself next time it happens.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
so is your ultimate goal to make it to the majors?
that would be great. It's, as you know, it's a very tough road. And it's about, once you start in affiliated baseball, it's about a 10-year average um, path to get there. and
Right.
and even then, you may not be guaranteed your job the next day.
Yep.
You misapply one rule on the field, and you could be you could be terminated as an umpire
Yep.
in affiliated baseball. So that would be great. I love the game. I'd like to stay in it, whether it's umpiring or coaching, managing as well. So, but this experience allowed me to build connections, which is a big thing. And yeah, I guess we'll see what the road ahead has for
Right
me.
here. Okay. Sounds good. I mean, so now what was so how does this work? Like do they pay you miles? Do they give you a vehicle? How
Yeah,
does it?
so for this specific league, I can't speak on the other independent leagues because it just kind of varies. So for this specific one, so it's two-man umpire system. So I was working with one other guy. Some of the other leagues, I know the Pioneer Professional Independent League is three-man system. So Pecos League is two-man system. One of them is the driver and drives their car, and the other person just gets their flights paid for to and from um, getting getting to the league and back. So I drove my car. My partner came from Cleveland, Ohio, and they paid for my gas reimbursements. They cover all the hotel costs. Even if anything happens to the car, so you blow out a tire, or the other full-time umpire crew, they got a broken windshield at one point, and so the league will cover stuff like that as well. Um, yeah, so partner flew into Texas, and I picked him up there, and we drove around the whole season. And then he flew out of Wichita, Kansas, back to Cleveland, Ohio, which is where he lives. and then I had to drive home. So it's a pretty long drive from where I'm at. I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, it was pretty far distance, but yeah, that's how it works. The league covers those
What,
sorts of
what about
things.
food and stuff?
Food. So this league does not cover a per diem, which is kind of unfortunate. Some leagues do, even in so affiliated baseball. I know minor leagues is $64 a day. Some other independent leagues, a few of them cover per diems, but this one did not. So some of the hotels we were staying at provided breakfast. Other than that, it was pretty much a college diet, you know.
So
No ramen actually, but
did you get some
a
of the
lot of
stories? I remember some of the stories. The guys say, yeah, in the minors, you get all the pretzels and hot dogs you can eat. And I go, wow, that's pretty
yeah.
cool. They say, yeah, and sometimes it's warm.
I'd hope so. Yeah. When what one of the teams is in Trinidad, Colorado, and so they would provide food at the stadiums for us there, so that was nice. Other than that, just living off of cans of soup and what else we could find.
Okay. I mean, so
Yeah.
did you go around some of these towns and explore? And hey, I mean, you're only working what, 3 hours a day? What
Yeah.
time did you had to get there? 3 hours before, 2 hours before?
No, we would try to get there anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour before the game. Um, so yeah, we checked out some of the cities. Not much to do in Pecos,
Okay.
Roswell. No alien encounters, unfortunately. Um, yeah, not much in those two locations. We checked out a state park in Trinidad. We actually did check out a state park in Roswell as well.
Okay.
Um, Santa Fe is only an hour north of Albuquerque. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I was able to check out some of the locations in the city in Albuquerque, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but for the most part, the cities were nice, and they took good care of us there. So,
Okay. So what was your favorite ballpark to umpire at?
ooh, that's a tough one. So Pecos, they actually built a new complex there. It's all turf, which is really nice, but the heat is horrible. So I'm kind of used to the heat living in Florida, but it was like 105 to 108
Ooh.
there several of the days, and on an all turf field too, and just it absolutely enhances it.
Yeah.
So I mean, the all turf was really nice. It just the field was always in great condition, so that's great. Um, Santa Fe is a good one if you're a fan of baseball. Santa Fe is great because it's 7,000 feet in elevation. To right field is like 280 feet, which is like really short.
It's
And so
short
you would
porch
get,
there.
if the wind was blowing, you just get a pop up and it casually blows out. As an umpire, you're like, no way that just happened, you know. So that was a pretty unique field. Um, yeah, I'd say overall probably Garden City, Kansas, though.
Okay.
The weather there is consistently good. It's not as hot as some other locations like Pecos and Roswell. They have all turf as well. So the playing conditions there are just they're always great for baseball.
Right.
So that was probably the best field experience that we had. They actually have the challenge system there too. So we got to experience what that was like. Um, yeah, if there was I had a game where they challenged two of my plays at first base because I was first base umpire, and they use a four-man umpire system there, so we were umpiring with local guys, and I was first base umpire, and they have 15 seconds to challenge the initial call on the field. And so they did it twice with two of my calls at first base in one game, and both of mine were upheld. So I felt pretty good about that.
Got the
Yeah,
challenges taken
felt
away, huh?
felt like the man after that. But you can't let your ego get too high because with umpiring it'll
It'll
quickly bring you
yeah,
down.
yeah. Any fans give you any crap or anything?
Oh yeah. Um, Santa Fe was the worst for that actually. There's one guy who's there every single game. Every single game. He's the biggest Santa Fe Fuego fan in the world. And he just he heckles the other team, he heckles the umpires. Every inning of every game, he's there, he's heckling, he's doing his thing. So it's it is what it is. It was pretty funny actually. He would call every single guy on the opposing team water boy. So every time they would come up to bat, like, hey water boy, why don't you get an actual player to come out and pinch hit for you? It just
Wow.
all sorts of stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, so not too much overall. But yeah, that one fan, you just knew he was going to be there every game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, any incredible plays that you get to see? I mean, one of those major league shortstops that vacuums up
Yeah,
the ball and does a Derek Jeter jumping in the air and guns him out by 5 feet, and you're like, what the heck?
yeah. There was one play. It was actually a shortstop, and it was the shortstop for the Roswell Invaders. It was when we were in Roswell, and this ball was hit almost like right up the middle, and the shortstop he's only 19 years old, and so he can run it like nobody up, nobody else, and so he makes his entire way to this ball that's just ripped up the middle and somehow gets there. I thought there was no way he's getting there. And so he's like running full speed and like spins around and just whips his arm out to the side and gets the guy out of first base. And I'm like, it was unlike anything I've ever seen, even for this league. I mean, for somebody to make a play like that, that's just something you see in the major leagues. So that was easily just, I don't know how he got there. I don't know how he kept enough control of his body to, I mean, he was just turned around and spun like a tornado and whipped it to first base and made an incredible throw. Um, so yeah, crazy play.
So, I mean, if there's a young man out there that wants to do this, well, I mean, what advice would you give him?
Um, and in terms of umpiring, what I just went through,
Yeah.
I think it's a great experience. I mean, for somebody my age. I mean, I'm 22. So I'm not. I mean, some of the guys who go to Wendelstedt, they're 18, and you get some people who go there who are pursuing a career and are in their 30s, and people who have been in their 30s have gotten placed before. So um, for somebody like me who's trying to pursue this for a career, there's really no better experience, going and traveling to different states and cities and getting your hotels, and if you are driving, your gas and car expenses paid for. Just go ahead and do it. Take the chance at something like this, and you have major league umpires like Junior Valentine, who had no prior umpiring experience and went to Wendelstedt, gave it his all, and he was lucky enough to get placed into affiliated baseball. So if you have a passion for the game and think umpiring might be for you, give it a try. And even if it's just one of the professional independent leagues, it's going to be one of the best experiences of your life. So I do highly recommend
Going
it.
to umpire school, where would you send them?
That's a tough one. You mean you have to go to Wendelstedt. It's at this point it's not even just an umpire school, but it's been around for so long and started with Harry Wendelstedt, and now it's his son Hunter running it. And so there's really a good morale that they got going there, and you make some great friends that you'll stay in contact with, and it's just a great experience. And it's more than just an umpire school or a program. um it's very It's very family like. So it was. I highly recommend going there if you were to choose any.
I I I I can't say it any better than that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
they're just
mean,
great.
I
They're great.
you're 20 class of 2024. I'm class of 2003, and
Yeah,
we're all family. You saw me there. Hunter greeted me. I said hi to everybody. Walked around.
yeah,
And when I go back there, my juices get flowing again, man. I want
yeah,
to get out my mask. I want to go to first to third. I want to do a timing play. I want to get
yeah.
back in the cage and
Right.
realize, you know what? I'm not that young buck I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. My timing play consists of, hey, Blue, over there.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I mean, it does. The school does get your juices flowing, and
It does.
it's something. And I'll be honest with you, 2003, I'm still in touch with about 7 guys from that school.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk, maybe a month or two here and there. But
Yeah.
I send them a text, hey, how you doing? I got one guy in California. He texts me like maybe once, twice a year, usually around the holidays, and he says hi to me, how's it going and stuff. He went to umpire school, had images of trying to become a major league umpire, and gave it up and became a teacher. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, but what did Wendelstedt teach you that you could take some of that stuff and put it into your life? Like what was
Right.
some of the stuff that they did to you that you didn't use it in baseball, but you use it in your everyday life?
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, well, first of all, like you were just saying, you said you couldn't move around like you used to. So I want to clarify, umpires are athletes too. You,
Oh, absolutely.
especially when you get up into professional baseball. I mean, how fast you have some of the guys like Ellie De La Cruz who can run from first or from home to third base within like 10 seconds and something is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so you have the umpires in single A who you're doing the two-man system and they're just running around everywhere.
Right.
So got to be fast. But yeah, I think with so like I said earlier with umpiring, you have so many things going on in your head at the same time. Um, because there's so much in the rule book that the basic player or baseball fan doesn't realize. Um, so I think taking it into everyday life, um, I think just mental sharpness as an umpire, you have to be so mentally sharp, or else you will not make it. Um, and so it kind of just keeps your mind on the go.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, even with myself, I find a little bit of a difference in just like how I'm trying to get my mind to work not only on the field but even off the field, just trying to like obtain information and all that good stuff. Because it's a lot tougher than people think.
Yeah.
You have the entire rule book and then the umpire rotations with two man that that you learn at Wendelstedt, and it's like wow, they really do this in minor league and even major league baseball, with all these rotations and then applying the rule book knowledge onto on-field scenarios, and you might even get something that you've never seen in your life, such
Yeah.
as detached equipment. How often do you see something like that? But you have to be mentally ready for it, even if you haven't seen it in your 20, 30, 40 career of umpiring.
Yep. Yep.
So
I was,
just mental sharpness, mental quickness, and all sorts of stuff.
if you're honest, you gain a lot by being honest.
Yeah, it's
When you
true. You
when the manager comes out and hey, you were out of position, you missed that call. Yes, sir, but I had to give you my best judgment, and in my judgment, this
right,
was the call. And they'll go,
and that happens.
yeah, and they'll go, but you were out of position. Yes, sir. I understand that, but there's nobody else to make the call. So
Yeah.
to make the call, and
Yeah.
it's my best judgment. And then
Yeah.
it's like
That's
they're like,
true.
yeah, but and the next time something happens like that, they'll go, well, he's gonna be honest. He'll
Yeah.
be honest.
Exactly.
So integrity is a lot of things when it comes to umpires. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah, for
man,
sure.
it's I wish you luck, man. And you going back to Wendelstedt anytime?
I'd like to. I'll see if anything opens up or changes. I'm currently in college for a criminal justice degree, so
Okay.
if baseball doesn't work out somehow, then law enforcement. But I would love to go back to umpire school, so I'll probably be there at some point.
Okay. I mean, criminal justice and being an umpire, it's kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
enforcing rules.
Enforcing rules, enforcing regulations, and being
That's
honest in
right.
the game
Yeah,
and making sure that everybody is playing by the rules and regulations of the game. Yeah,
exactly.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and other things that have anything ever blurred out of you? Like you're in the middle of something and all of a sudden it just comes blurting out and you're like, oh wow, where did that come from?
Uh, I can't say it has. I I don't think. Maybe
Okay.
I just haven't done it long enough, but
I, I
maybe I'll get there.
I had a situation where they turn around and we had to enforce a balk, and the manager comes out. He's no way. I accept no sir. I said all runners
Yeah,
including batter runner must advance one base safely. I was like, and that didn't happen, so we have to enforce the balk. The batter comes back to play,
yeah,
and he come back to bat, and he just looked at me and was like, "What did
yeah,
you say?" And I'm like,
yeah.
and I'm looking, I'm
Oh,
going, "Whoa, wait a minute, that." Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
yeah, I was like, that sounded really good. I was like, that's it.
yeah.
It's
You
just,
know, it just hit me when I was in Santa Fe. There was a base hit. I think it was a runner on first base. It was a base hit to right field, and the runner on first comes around and rounds second base, and then the right fielder throws the ball, and it goes out of play. And so me and my partner had seen, okay, he had passed second base before the ball had been thrown.
right,
And so we scored him.
right.
And so the manager had asked, like, why isn't he on third base? And so I did tell him it was not the first play made by an infielder, therefore it's two bases time of the throw. And so I told him when the throw is made, the runner had already passed second base, therefore he scores. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
just applying what we said on a daily basis at Wendelstedt um, came back to me, and yeah, so that I actually did have one of those.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
All right, Ivy. Well, listen, I wish you luck, and I hope I see you at umpire school. If you need anything from me, just give me a call. You got my number, and
yes, sir.
another fellow brother, Wendelstedt graduate in the books, in the Pecos, and hopefully
Yes,
one
sir.
day we'll have all the Wendelstedt guys in the major leagues.
That'd be great. Thanks,
All
thanks,
right.
Robert.
Well,
Thanks for
thanks
having
for
me on the
being on.
show.
I appreciate you.
Yes,
Just,
sir.
just hang on after I hang up. All right.
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody. So we had Ivory on. We talked some good stuff. He gave us some great stories. Remember, if you want to go to umpire school, you go where? Stop it. You know where to go. All right.
They already know. They already
Yeah,
know.
they already know. All right, everybody. As we say here on Who's On First, keep swinging.
If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?